A note of warning. This video contains graphic and disturbing content that may not be appropriate for all viewers. It is recommended that viewers exercise their discretion. The content may contain graphic illustrations of violence and harsh language that may be distressing to certain audiences.
Salt Lake City Police Department. How may I help you?
Hello, I need to report my daughter as missing. It's been a week. She hasn't called, she hasn't texted. This isn't like her. I know something's wrong. Please, check on her.
August 20th, 2019. Calling the Salt Lake City Police Department, a worried father from California picks up the phone. His daughter, Mackenzie Lueck, who is 23 years old, has gone missing. A story of treachery, terror, and an unspeakable crime will unfold from what began as an urgent health check. Mackenzie had just returned to Salt Lake City after attending her grandmother's funeral in California. At 2:40 a.m., she entered a Lyft, instructing the driver to drop her off at Hatch Park, a quiet location in North Salt Lake. But this seemingly routine ride marked the last time Mackenzie was seen alive.
She seemed fine, chatting on her phone, polite. I dropped her off and there was a car waiting for her. They greeted each other like they knew one another. I didn't think anything was wrong.
Mackenzie's family received one final text.
Landed. I love you, Mama.
Then silence.
Her phone isn't even ringing now. It's just going straight to voicemail. Something's wrong, Greg.
She wouldn't just disappear. She's responsible. She would have called.
She asked me to feed her cat while she was in California. She said she'd be back Monday, but I haven't heard from her since.
Her car sat untouched in the driveway, but her suitcase was gone. The implication was clear. Mackenzie had never made it home. As investigators began piecing together Mackenzie's final movements, they uncovered a chilling lead. Phone records revealed she had been communicating with Ayoola Ajayi, a man she met on the sugar dating site seeking arrangement.
She wasn't asking for help with rent anymore, but this money, where was it coming from?
She was dropped off at Hatch Park at 2:59 a.m. Who was waiting for her there?
The smell was awful, like burning flesh. I thought maybe he was cooking something, but it didn't feel right.
In Ajayi's backyard, police uncovered human remains, including charred bones and part of a scalp. DNA confirmed the unthinkable. It was Mackenzie.
In Utah, a tragic conclusion in the search for a missing college student. Police found the charred remains of 23-year-old Mackenzie Lueck in the yard of the man.
She was our light. To know she suffered, that she died alone. It's unbearable.
Ajayi's brilliant facade disguised a troubling truth. His violent history and strange requests were discovered by the investigators, who found blueprints for a soundproof room with hooks and a fingerprint lock among his other strange requests.
His only concern was getting everything done quickly, regardless of the expense. I decided to leave because the gut feeling was telling me something wasn't right.
Ajayi's polished persona was unraveling. His interactions, once charismatic, now reeked of manipulation, and Ajayi's polished facade was coming apart. His once charming interactions now smacked of deceit and evil. His amiable manner concealed the terrifying determination of a man prepared to carry out the unimaginable. Mackenzie had the impression that she was meeting someone she could trust. She instead entered a nightmare. When she entered his house, Ajayi strangled her after tying her hands with a zip tie. After it failed to swiftly end her life, he proceeded to hit her with something sharp. Ajayi turned to his backyard fire pit, determined to remove all traces of the incident. But his crime could not be concealed by flames. With guarded body language, Ajayi sits in a sterile police interview room. His attempt to sound innocent causes his voice to become louder.
And somehow you and her location end up in the exact same spot?
Oh, I'm not doubting you. If I see that too, if I'm in your case, I would be asking myself, what are you asking me right now?
It's not a miraculous question.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay.
Stuff doesn't just happen.
No.
Yes, I agree with you.
I'm telling you to explain that. And so far, you have not.
Well, how do I explain something I don't know?
Ajayi was doomed from the start due to the mountain of physical and digital evidence against him. He was spotted driving to Hatch Park and then coming back with Mackenzie in his vehicle, according to surveillance footage.
Going to which library?
It's the library down this road.
On the other side of the freeway?
Yeah.
To the west?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a new one, right?
Yeah, it's very new. It has couch that I can just leave.
As the amount of evidence grew, Ajayi's well-crafted alibi collapsed. The evidence presented by CCTV footage, phone records, and digital traces was indisputable. The final minutes of Mackenzie and Ajayi's frantic attempts to conceal his horrible deed provided investigators with incriminating evidence.
Ayoola Ajayi, you are sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Justice was served that day in the courtroom, but for Mackenzie's family, it was far from closure. No sentence could ever bring back their daughter, their bright light, their reason to smile. For them, the pain of her absence would always linger, but they made a choice to honor Mackenzie's memory in the most meaningful way possible. Mackenzie's family reminds us that even in the darkest moments, there is a way to find light. Their strength, their advocacy, and their love for Mackenzie serve as a powerful example of how we can all work together to create a safer, more compassionate world. Mackenzie Lueck's life was a story of ambition, kindness, and boundless potential. She was a daughter, a friend, a student, and so much more. Though her life was tragically cut short, her memory reminds us of the strength found in love, the importance of vigilance, and the power of community. Mackenzie's family, friends, and community channeled their grief into action. They began advocating for personal safety, supporting missing persons organizations, and sharing her story to prevent similar tragedies. Through their efforts, Mackenzie's light continues to shine, inspiring others to be vigilant and to care for one another. In our interconnected world, it's easy to forget the importance of basic safety measures. But it's these small, intentional actions that can make the biggest difference. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it likely is. Share your travel plans, check in with loved ones, and never be afraid to ask for help. Remember, safety is not just an individual responsibility, it's a shared effort. If Mackenzie's story has moved you, take action today. Share her story to spread awareness. Support organizations that help find missing persons. And most importantly, take steps to protect yourself and those you love. Together, we can create a safer world. Thank you for joining us in remembering Mackenzie Lueck. Her story may have been one of unspeakable loss, but it is also a story of strength, hope, and the unbreakable bond of community. In her memory, we find a call to action, to never let the darkness of this world overshadow the light we can share with each other. What do you think really went through Mackenzie's mind when she stepped into that car? By liking and sharing this video, you help raise awareness and keep Mackenzie's story alive. Hit the subscribe button so we can continue bringing you stories that matter. Together, we can inspire change, support those in need, and take steps toward creating a world where no one has to face the unimaginable alone. Like the video and subscribe for more interesting content like this. Thanks for watching.